Hello, how you doing? It's Jerry McKeever again, and I did say earlier on in a video that I want to make a particular video on one of the items on the manifesto that I think is close to all our hearts and very, very important. And I think that illustrating how we can fix the HSE, it illustrates how we can fix the other departments too, because it can be one vital ingredient behind fixing the HSE. Um, we think that our hospital in Letterkenny is the worst in the country. I heard lately on the stats that on one particular day last week that Limerick was the worst. We're all equally bad. We're all equally dysfunctional, and I believe there's a fix. I'm old enough to remember a program the BBC made way back in the 90s. A man called Jerry Robinson, Sir Jerry Robinson, who was an Englishman but lived in Rafo, not too far from here, an absolute gent, a very intelligent, altruistic being who went into a hospital in Rotherham to make this program, a hospital that was dysfunctional, and through speaking to staff, administrators, unions, patients, and using common sense and decency over a period of a few months, he basically fixed that dysfunctional hospital. And if I remember rightly, he went back a year later to find the hospital still running the way he left it. And indeed, not only was the hospital working well, but everyone was happy in their work. You know, if people are happy in their work, they can do it so much better. So he left the perfect scenario in that hospital in Rotherham. And what happened after that was very, very cleverly, the whoever the Minister for Health was at the time took that program and used it as a template to change and fix the NHS all over the UK. And for maybe 15 years, up until maybe 15 years ago, the NHS was regarded as one of the great health givers in Europe. The Brexit happened, the Conservative government happened, I don't know, but the NHS now is no better off than we are at this stage. So, it's really, really in trouble. And if you want to get a look at what it must be like, I'm watching a program at the moment called The Pit. It's a great dramatized series from America about basically a hospital in Pittsburgh that's nicknamed The Pit. And look at the chaos, the basically running the standstill that's going on in that hospital and that E&R department. It's the same for all of us. It's the same everywhere. But we can use this program as a template ourselves to fix it. God rest Jerry Robinson. I wish he was still here to get involved, because if he moved into our HSE today, he could make all those changes. He could talk to people on a human level and get unions and staff and administration to compromise on things and to leave them happier in their work, to leave everyone happy. And because it's not really a money thing in Ireland, I think we spend about 27% of our total budget on health in this country. And that stands up with any country in Europe. There's only a few countries that spend more. So it's efficiency, it's a system, it's all wrong. Everyone seems to agree on that. So, this can be fixed, but we need to find someone like Sir Jerry who can go in and talk to people and do this. And then that leads us on to every department in the country. If we appoint someone to look after every department who knows what they're doing, then we can get to a much better place. The problem is, of course, I think that governments want to do what they want to do. They appoint ministers to basically toe a party line and do what they're told, and to go out front and centre in front of the TV cameras and present that message from the government, not from their own intelligence or knowledge or brain work. It's from basically the party line. And I want to discuss something here for a minute or two that shows where this can lead, and it's already leading to a bad place for us as is. But Keir Starmer just walked from his job today. It shows you this video has been made way back in the last week in June, and I'm hopefully put out maybe a week or two after. But Keir Starmer, one of the things he did in the last 2 weeks was he had appointed a Minister of Defence who knew what he was doing, who then appointed someone under him who worked in the forces who knew what he was doing. And these people who took over the Minister of Defence realised that, they need to spend a lot more money. The money was not forthcoming, therefore they found they couldn't do their job and resigned. This made Keir Starmer look even worse, because he appointed people who obviously looked like deserted them and left. But basically, with the budget they were given by the government, they could not do their job. So that's what comes from appointing someone who knows what they're doing if the money's not there. Now, it is said that Ireland is a wealthy country. Hopefully, the money's there to fix all our departments if we do it properly. But what happens the day the money's gone? And we want to appoint people who know what they're doing and find they can't do the job. We need to appoint people to government at the moment who know what they're doing. Let's get those people through this, what I call a democratic plan. Please, as I'm saying, let's start a democratic revolution in this country. Let's get going. Subscribe, share. If you agree with what I'm saying, jump on board, lend your weight, lend your momentum. This is your task as much as mine. If you really want to fix the country, please give me a hand. Contact me, comment, subscribe, share. It's become a mantra. Subscribe and share. And especially with people who are on this wavelength, people who maybe have gravitas, have profile, to get on board this thing, to give us a hand. Thanks very much for watching me. All the best. We'll talk again soon. Good luck. Bye-bye.